Right now, we'll be doing one of the interesting topics talking about tracking government and development in Anambra State. And joining us all the way from Anambra State is Cornel Osigwe, public relations consultant and community development activist, who will be helping us to unravel some of the track, particularly under Governor Charles Soludo. How far has Anambra fared under Governor Soludo in the last 4 years? Talking about development, talking about the health sector, the economic sector, the rural development per se, as well as revenue generation under Governor Soludo of Anambra State. So let's have Cornel Osigwe, a public relations consultant and community development activist, who will help us to unravel most of the successes of Governor Soludo. And well, let's not forget to mention the challenges that you may have encountered governing Anambra State. Mr. Cornel Osigwe, good morning and welcome to Morning Express. All right, we're still expecting that connection with him. But a background on tracking government and development in Anambra State showcased that, particularly in subnational government in Nigeria, a lot of development expectation is being put forward by a lot of Nigerians. And okay, let's see whether we can get that network fixed. A very good morning to you, Mr. Cornel Osigwe.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning.
All right, all right. So let's get down to the discussion and see if we can really point out some of the issues within Anambra's governance politics, as well as the development stride under Governor Soludo. But first, let me ask, what is your assessment of policy development, governance under Soludo in Anambra State?
First, if you look at the governor's which is simply making Anambra State a livable, prosperous,
and a smart megacity in Anambra State.
His applied program of action.
You can see that the governor has done so well. He has been able to meet all the goals that he has set. So I can say that our expectation is that he has done 100% of what he said he's going to do.
Well, interesting. But let's also focus on, when he came in 4 years ago into the government house in Anambra, that is Noka, he promised so much when it comes to economic stride. And from what you have been able to point out, we are seeing a bright light, from Anambra State. But specifically, can you help us to unravel the aspect of government revenue that have now become a subject of discussion in Anambra State? Meaning that he has been able to upgrade and improve the revenue generation of Anambra State. So let's have your take on that, sir.
Okay, one of the things that Mr. Governor did to be able to, what he did to improve the revenue generation of Anambra State was to digitalize it, the revenue collection in Anambra State. And once that was done, the governor was able to have access to enough funds through revenue generation to be able to do the massive works that he has been doing in Anambra State.
Interesting. So on the other hand, one of the aspects we also need to focus right now, because Anambra State is now in one of the states that many Nigerians are looking at in the aspect of development stride, particularly on the area of engaging the youth. And for you, how do you see the governor engaging youth for development in the state?
The governor has done so well on that aspect. First, the governor started by engaging the youth through education. When he came in, he was able to, through education, he was able to employ over 5,000 youths to bring them into the civil service. And he has been able to extend that to about 8,000. We have about 8,000 youths that have been employed into the civil service as teachers in the educational sector. Then also the governor launched what we call the One Youth Two Skill Initiative. One Youth Two Skill Initiative. And under 3 years, he has been able to have 2 cohorts that have graduated from that One Youth Two Skill Initiative. First cohort, we have about 5,000 youths who pass through different skill acquisition programs, from agro businesses to digital marketing, to various crafts. Then after the first cohort, which was in 2023, then this year they launched the second cohort that we have about 8,300 students that graduated, and each of these graduates, the youth that participated in this 1U2 skills, the governor also gave them funds to be able to launch out and start their own businesses. So in terms of youth development, the governor has been able to, we can score the governor high. And also this year, the governor started what we call the 1 million digital tribe, whereby they are training about 1 million Anambra resident youth to acquire different kinds of digital skills. So you can see that in terms of youth development, the governor has done a great job on that, and we can score him 100%.
Interesting. It's good to hear that the governor is really, youth friendly, and he's also bringing a policy that will really bring youth into an inclusive governance as well as development. But let's take a look at the women aspect of it. If you are to point out, from the first lady of Anambra State engaging the women, and her husband also doing one or two things to ensure that the women are also carried along in governance program. But what will you have to say about women inclusiveness in Anambra State at this point in time?
In all the things that the governor has been doing, you understand, irrespective of what the governor's wife is also doing, the women have been carried along. Both in the ladies, the women, they have been carried along in everything that the governor has. The governor is a women-friendly, his government has been women-friendly, both in terms of employment, in terms of empowerment. The women has not been left out.
Interesting. Now, let's now focus on governance at the sub-national level, talking about local government in Anambra State. If you recall that currently right now we have a policy in place that allows local government to access their fund. What would you have to say about Governor Soludo and his local government in terms of getting funds for them at the right time and having access to their fund?
Yeah, the local government is working in Anambra State. I can use my own local government, Nnewi North local government, for an example. If you come to Nnewi North, you can see that the local government is working, that the mayor is working. They have access to their funds, the funds that is being allocated to them, and they have been using it to bring development down straight to the rural communities. For the first time, you can see that the local government, you can hear in Anambra State that the mayors, that's they are also not, the local governor, the local government chairmen known as the mayors. You can see that they are constructing roads, doing a lot of things that are unheard of for many years. That the projects that are only meant for the state governors. You understand? So if for the mayors to be doing the massive construction work they are doing in Anambra State across the different local government states, it means that they have access to funds that are being allocated to the local government.
All right, interesting. Now, let's also focus on another very interesting aspect of governance in Anambra State. Security is very key to any government, paramount, ensuring that they are able to do what they need to do and achieve the result they want to achieve. For Anambra, what do you have to say about the security level in Anambra State at this point in time, and what the governor is ensuring that it happens? We understand that there are security votes for the governors across Nigeria, but in the case of Anambra, how do you see the governor putting the money in the security aspect?
Yeah, before Mr. Soludo, Mr. Governor, Professor Charles Soludo came into government, Anambra was not a livable place. There was high level of insecurity in the state. But from the governor manifesto, he said that he wants to make Anambra a livable place, turning it into a mega city. And you can't do that without security. So the first thing that the governor did was to sign into law the Anambra Homeland Security Law. You understand, which enabled him to tackle security in Anambra State. And after that law was signed in, there has been a great improvement in security. You can see that there has been reduction in kidnapping, there has been reduction in crimes, and of recently, if you observe, you see that most of the villages that the villagers left, ran away from their villages, like Osumohu, Iseke. If you of recent, you see the youth celebrating that they are coming back to their villages. These are part of the impact of what the governor have done in tackling security challenges in Anambra State. Because security challenge is not a one-day thing. It has to do with strategy. The governor has been able to use carrot and stick approaches, you understand, in fighting crimes. Most of he gave most of the people who are into crimes an opportunity for them to come out so that the governor can be able to transform them and integrate them back into the society. And that carrot and stick approach has been able to help exceedingly well in tackling the security situation in Anambra State. For some time, there has been a great reduction in kidnapping and other crimes in Anambra State. So Anambra State is now gradually becoming one of the most secure places to live and do business in Nigeria. And because that is in line with the governor's vision to make Anambra State an investment hub, the investment destination of Nigeria, and the security of lives and property has improved tremendously.
I'll take that from you, the improvement in security, and linking that security improvement to investment destination is the next question or next aspect of our discussion right now. Particularly, many Nigerians know Charles Soludo as someone who was one time the Central Bank of Nigerian governor, and he brought in several initiatives that changed the landscape of Nigerian monetary policy as well as Nigerian economy in general. Many of us will remember him for the bank consolidation in between 2002 to 2005 and other laudable policies that he brought. Now, in the case of Anambra State, what specific investment drive can you pinpoint to? Because many Nigerians who are watching us right now, we want to see Governor Soludo know one of his achievements in the area of economy. So for you, investment drive, what has been a specific policy to drive investment into Anambra State that you have seen, you have witnessed, and is happening right now?
Okay, one of the things that the governor tenure was to lay foundation for investment to coming into Anambra State. And you'll be looking at the various strategic steps. Mr. Governor is a highly intentional person, very strategic in whatever that he's doing. One of the things he did was the infrastructure. The infrastructure development and youth empowerment, because these are the necessary underground work that are going to drive investment into Anambra State. In terms of infrastructure, we are looking at the roads. There's been a vast reconstruction and expansion of the road networks in Anambra State, from across all the local government, from the rural to the urban community in Anambra State. Anambra is witnessing massive road construction. As of today, the governor, within the first 3 years, has constructed over 600 kilometers of roads. There is a lot of places, roads that we are not motorable for the past 30 years, for the past 50 years. The governor has paid attention to that and constructed the roads, like in Atani Road. Over 10 kilometers of roads have been constructed in Atani. You understand? Opening up investment into the rural community within that Anambra North axis. Also, you look at the power infrastructure. The governor has through the Anambra State Electricity Regulatory Commission, he has been able to bring reforms into power, because you can't talk about investment in making Anambra State an investment hub without tackling power. So the governor have initiated a short to long term plan that within the next 4, 5, 7 years, Anambra will start experiencing 24/7 power electricity, 24 hours and 7 days electricity in Anambra State. And he has done a lot of reforms in the power sectors. You understand? And introduce reforms, regulatory reforms that will bring in the private sector. He has also signed an MOU with EEDC to ensure that there is a 24/7 power supply to all the rural and urban communities in Anambra State. and also sign an MOU with a Chinese Shanghai power company for them to come and invest in the power sector in Anambra State, and also done a lot of investment in improving the power infrastructure in Anambra State. And also the governor is also have paved way for digital assets for Anambra State by introducing fiber. There's been a lot of massive investment in Anambra State in terms of making Anambra to be the digital destination of Nigeria. So what the governor has done within these first years was to lay the groundwork for investment to come in Anambra State. First, road construction improvement, power, and also internet. These are things that are going to bring in investment. And the governor has won a lot of awards based on this infrastructural development that he has brought in Anambra State.
Interesting. Still staying on the aspect of business and economic development, as well as driving investment into Anambra State, let's take a look at Inewi and the governor drive for urban renewal and industrialization, or I'll put it this way, a proper industrialization segment of Inewi. And we have seen a lot of documents, we have seen a lot of reports on how the governor is trying to drive that urban renewal, as well as making Inewi a powerhouse of industry, as well as a powerhouse of manufacturing, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. But from your own point, how has he been able to achieve this? Going by resistance by many who doesn't want, that kind of urban renewal and industrialization of upgrade of Inewi, which many Nigerians know to be the headquarters of manufacturing in Nigeria.
Well, Mr. Governor has been doing a lot of bold reforms. Bold reforms means that whatever that he initiates to do, he has to do it without, he got to do it with every power that he has, without abusing the human rights. And that's what the governor has been doing. Let's focus on Nnewi, for example. For the first time, you can see the major roads in Nnewi that the governor was able to dualize them. And this dualization of the roads came with a lot of pains. But when the governor explained to the citizens where they are getting to, the citizens and the residents of Nnewi have to cooperate and also give the governor support. The major roads are in Nnewi now, the Nnewi-Okigwe Road, the Nnewi-Okija Road, and the Nnewi-Nnobi Road. These are one of the major roads that connects to other towns in Anambra State. These roads are as of now, they are receiving massive construction networks, and the roads have been dualized. You understand? So the citizens are supporting the government in this drive, because Nnewi is the #1 industrial place in Anambra State, not just in Anambra State, even in Southeast in general. You understand? We have a lot of industries. You understand? And for that to happen, the roads have to be constructed, and the governor has done just that. And also, the governor is also improving the power infrastructure of Nnewi to ensure that within the next few years, within the next 2-3 years, Nnewi will experience uninterrupted power supply.
Interesting. Let's now move to other very concerned issue that we believe that is also part of the development drive of the governor, the health sector. In Anambra State, for instance, is known to be one of the, when it comes to health issues, when it comes to health infrastructure development, in the southeast or in Nigeria generally, we normally see more of a mixed rating. But we have seen a new development slide coming from Anambra State under Governor Soludo. And for you, how? Because one of the things that many of us in the media space are trying to understand from the kind of policy that is coming from Governor Soludo is that how has he been able to achieve some of this drive? Particularly that in the same Anambra State, we have seen in the past that there is always opposition when a bold policy is about to be taken. But in the health sector, we have seen the governor take a bold policy. There's not changing landscape of health sector in Anambra State. But for you, how has he been able to achieve this? Because I need to ask you, for someone who is Anambra State that know much about what the governor is doing.
Okay, the governor has done so well in the health sector. Recently, he won award. The Anambra State won award as the number one in primary healthcare in Nigeria. You understand? So that's as a result of a lot of the massive investment that the governor has done in improving the health infrastructure in Anambra State. Almost all the rural communities and even the urban communities have received attention. There's been an establishment and construction of primary health care facilities in every rural community in Anambra State. And the governor has also improved, is also constructing trauma centers across different hospitals, the general hospitals in Anambra State. We see the one that he has done in Oka at the Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Teaching Hospital, the Soludo Trauma Center, which has been regarded as one of the best in Nigeria. So the governor is a governor that is intentional. You understand? He's a governor that is intentional in bringing bold reforms in Anambra State. And the citizens have seen what the governor has doing, and they have given him a lot of support. Don't think that the governor is not receiving support. The governor is receiving support from the rural communities, from the citizens, the residents in Anambra State. So he has not been facing much opposition in bringing all these development strides to Anambra State.
Interesting. Now let's focus on food production. Recently, the Federal Minister of Agriculture in Abuja here designated some states for the pilot project of the over 2,000 tractors that will be distributed. And good enough, Anambra State is one of those states that is going to benefit from those 2,000 tractors that will be shared. And the question that comes to mind is that, and the reason why I'm so pushed to ask this question this way is that in the past, governors have come and gone in Anambra, but majority of them normally complain about, issue of opposition to get policy implemented in the state. But for Governor Charles Soludo, we are seeing a different ball game. And now we are now seeing the federal government also recognizing Anambra State as one of those pilot states to initiate that federal government food security program that is underway. But for you, how do you see this coming, and what do you think we need to do to sustain this momentum of Anambra State becoming one of the limelight on national program like the food security of the federal government of Nigeria?
Like they say that the world makes way for the person who knows where he's going. And that's what is happening in Anambra State. And Anambrans have seen that the governor has come with bold reforms and is intentional in what he's doing. And within the space of 1-2 years, he has done a lot. So the citizens are supporting him. And that's why in this coming election that is coming, almost every stakeholders from political across every divide have endorsed the governor to continue the good work that he's going to do. So to ensure that there is sustainability in what the governor is doing, and Anambrans have decided that they are going to return the governor come this November 8th election.
Interesting. Although I didn't want to go into the politics in an early part of our discussion, but now that we have brought the political side of it into our discussion, let's now dive into a little of the politics. For Governor Charles Soludo, it's of the APGA, but a lot of people are also saying it's like he has some good relationship with the other opposition party like APC. Particularly, just some few months ago, the president was in Anambra State and he gave kudos to Governor Charles Soludo for the development drive that is taking. And Governor Charles Soludo also on his part also applauded and praised President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the good work he is doing on the economy. Let's have your take on this.
Yeah, the governor is a governor under the All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, the Anambra Party, and if you follow through, you know that Anambra Party, APGA, has always supported government at the center. The government at the center. So and that's what Professor Charles Soludo is also doing. He's supporting the government at the center. So because it is the government at the center, you can be able to implement a lot of your bold policies, implement a lot of your bold reforms. And for this coming election, also the president came and saw the good work that the governor is doing, and also don't forget that the governor is also one of the economic advisors of Mr. President.
Exactly.
You understand? So, and the president in return have decided to also support the governor to continue the good works that he's doing by making sure that he comes back in this year 2020, in this election, 2025, November 18, to come back and continue the reforms that he's doing in Anambra State, and also continue supporting Mr. President in his economic development in Nigeria.
Interesting. The election is less than a month, or at least in less than a month from now, and a lot of people are also taking a look at what will really happen. Although if you take the rating of the candidate that are contesting, Governor Charles Soludo is still being rated as #1. But taking a look at the atmosphere in Anambra State now, how will you describe the atmosphere towards the election? We are in the pre-election period, but what is the atmosphere in Anambra, in the entire local government, as we speak right now?
Everywhere is just relaxed in Anambra State. Everybody, the citizens are just relaxed. They are just waiting for November 8 to come for them to go and endorse the governor and vote for him to continue the good works. There is no, the politics is not heated. The citizens cannot be deceived, because within these first 4 years, the governor has been able to show what he can do if he's given another opportunity. So the citizens are relaxed. They are just waiting for November 8 to come so that they can be able to vote in the governor to continue the good works that he's doing. So everywhere is just calm. Everywhere is just calm. There is the politics is not heated.
Interesting. When you say the politics is not heated and there is no rancor anywhere, a lot of people also are praised the governor for being a gentleman when it comes to the politics of Anambra State. But what do you make of his kind of political, arena, his kind of political characteristics, and a kind of political feature? Because in Anambra State, that most of us understand, that we have read the political temperature of Anambra State, you don't have a governor as gentle as Governor Soludo as we have right now, but we are seeing a different ball game as Governor Charles Soludo, who has a different mannerism when it comes to the politics of Anambra State. If you look back in the history book of Anambra State, they have never had the opportunity to have a gentle governor as we have it today. But what really inform this going forward?
Yeah, that's the character. You just explained the character of the governor. The governor is just a gentle person. You understand? And in this campaign, his works he's doing for him. You see that the governor is not talking much. The governor has not been talking much. The works that he's been doing has been talking for him. The citizens who are the beneficiaries of these reforms and transformation in have been the one talking for him. They have been the one campaigning for him. The governor has been gentle. The mannerism in this campaign has been professional. Even the way he relates with his co-opponents, you understand. You know that you see that there has not been any rancor. You can judge Anambra State when the governor was campaigning to enter. Anambra State was not a livable place. There was high tension in the land. People were just the citizens of Anambra, whether there will still be Anambra before that election. You understand? But you can see election everywhere is just calm. People are just doing their normal businesses, going wherever they want to go, because the governor is working. And the people, the governor is working. So as campaigning for the governor, waiting for November 8 for them to come and vote in the governor to continue the work that he is doing.
Talking about November 8, as Salia pointed out, is less than a month from now. But after November 8, what do you expect if Governor Charles Soludo returns back to the government house? Because we have seen in his first 4 years, we have seen someone who promoted inclusive governance. We have seen someone who promoted developmental governance. We have seen someone who also promoted pro-people governance. But in the history of Nigerian, particularly from the subnational level, when governors return back for the second term, most of them, they relax, they sleep, and they slumber, in a sense that what they started at the beginning, most of them don't have that momentum to continue and sustain it to the end. But what do you make of Governor Charles Soludo if he returns back for a second term?
I want you to understand that you are talking about Anambra State. Anambra State has a history of first. Everybody wants to leave a legacy. The governor wants to leave one of the best legacies, not just in Anambra State, but in Nigeria. So he's intentional in what he's doing. In this first one, he came to clear the ground, and in the second tenure, he's coming to water. Remember, his manifesto is to make Anambra a livable, prosperous, and a smart megacity. In the coming back, the governor intends to turn Anambra into a smart mega city, and that's what he's coming to do. And he has laid the groundwork, the foundational groundwork for that to happen. So Anambra is not a state that governors coming in the second tenure and relax. We have not had histories of, if you check the histories of our past governors, you see that most of their second tenure is when they do more. And Soludo wants to leave a lasting legacy in Anambra State. So Anambrarians know that they are expecting a double portion of what he has done in his first tenure.
Exactly. Now let's go back to his development stride and take a slide at education. We have seen some of the reform that he has brought up. We also see the empowerment and investment drive in the education. Let's start with the primary school sector. How far has he been able to ensure that the primary school in Anambra State are up to the standard that he desires? Just like you pointed out, a living Anambra State that everybody can have a prosperous, state. But for the primary school level, what has been his major achievement in that regard?
Under Soludo, the primary school sector experienced a 40% increment in enrollment, and that is the highest ever across all the states in Nigeria. And also have a 2.9% decrease in terms of dropouts, in terms of primary school people that are not accessing primary school education in Nigeria. Anambra State is the lowest. So you see that the governor introduced bold reforms. For example, the nursery and primary sectors in Anambra State, there is free education, and the governor has infrastructure across all the primary school sector, and that is one of the things the local government system, the mayors are partnering with the state government in doing, because the primary schools lies under the local government, and the governor has been able to ensure that the local government have their funds so that they can be able to support Mr. Governor in his vision to make education accessible to all in Anambra State. So there has been a lot of investment. Anambra State we have free education, and also the governor also implemented a policy where there is a school fees refund to the parents. You understand? So you see that for the parents has not been under the duration of Soludo as governor, the parents in Anambra State whose students are in primary school have not paid school fees, tuition fee, and even uniform. They have not paid all these fees. So the parents now have these funds they are supposed to use to pay for their student education, now plotting it back to their business. That's credit to the governor. So the governor has implemented a bold reforms in education in Anambra State.
Interesting. But let's take a look at the post-primary school level to the secondary school aspect, and the area of performance in WAEC, area of performance in NECO, as well as in JAM. Anambra State candidates are always being in the news. And for Governor Soludo, we also saw a new trend in the way that he improved on what he met, and we also saw their candidates doing very well. But for you, how will you describe that?
Okay, I must add that Anambra State School, a school in Anambra, won the best school in Nigeria. And also their teachers, the teachers in Anambra State were in the top 10 awards that were gifted. They won about 10 awards in the rating of primary and secondary school in Nigeria. You understand, and Anambra has history of coming first in external examinations like WAEC, JAM, and every other thing. This is as a result of the sustainability of the educational reforms that the governor has initiated and also has been implementing in Anambra State.
Interesting. Lord, let's take a look at the tertiary aspect of the education in Anambra State. And we are seeing a new drive also. I will confess that, in the last couple of years, when ASU called for strike, majority of schools in Nigeria, state university particularly, or state tertiary institution normally join them in that stuff. But we are seeing a new understanding in Anambra State that Governor Soludo have been able to break that particular challenge in Anambra State, and we have seen a big rapport between the governor and academic staff union in Anambra State, and not other also non-academic staff union, and it has really kept the Anambra State tertiary institution academic calendar smoothly. But help us to understand why the governor and how he was able to achieve some of this landmark.
That's why I'm saying that the governor is doing bold reforms and is very intentional in that. Because for you to make an Anambra State an investment hub in Nigeria, you need the human resource, and these human resources are from the educational sector. You understand? So the governor is doing a lot of investment, both in infrastructural upgrade in the tertiary institution in Anambra State, and that's why the stakeholders, just like you mentioned, the ASU, are partnering with the governor to make sure that this drive, this infrastructural development drive, is sustained. Like, for example, for over 21 years in Anambra State University, they have not experienced, they have not had power supply, they have not had electricity. But under Soludo, he has been able to restore electricity to Anambra State University after 21 years. Because like this, and there's a lot of other infrastructural development. And even in some places, in some of the institutions, the governor is invested in infrastructural development in terms of bringing solar panel to ensure that they have an uninterrupted power supply in these institutions. So the governor is highly intentional in making Anambra the investment hub of Nigeria, and one of the key aspects that is going to sustain those, that is going to service these investors that are going to come in, are the human resource, and they are from the educational sector. That's where they're going to get it from, and that's why he's as a futuristic leader, he is doing a lot of investment across all the systems of education in Anambra State, from the primary school to the secondary to the tertiary institution.
Interesting. Now, as we begin to round up, I won't ask you this question, but I need to ask you this question, which is very, very key. What I mean I won't ask you is that I've seen you to be someone who is in the digital world, and we're also seeing a level of digital improvement in Anambra State government communication, relationship, and the rest of them. But for you, what will be your advice to the governor, as well as the people handling his communication, to be more effective, to make sure that we hear, we see, we are aware of some of these laudable projects that is doing?
In terms of communication, effective communication from the government side on what he's doing. And also from our own side, we the public relation professionals, that's why we are also trying to support the governors to give a voice to the bold reforms that the governor is doing. The governor has a strong media team, has a strong PR team, communication team, that are also voicing out the reforms that he's doing. You understand? We at the private sectors are also trying to, we have seen what the governor is doing, and we are trying to also give him a voice, speak to Nigerians, speak to Anambrarians on what the governor is doing, you know, doubling in on the effective communication aspect.
Interesting. Now, Mr. Cornel Osigwe, I need to thank you so much for coming on the Morning Express show this morning to express some of your opinion, particularly on the development drive of this governor, Charles Soludo. And interestingly, you also happen to be the former head of corporate communication at Innocent Vehicle, as well as the public relations consultant and political analyst. So we really thank you so much for coming on ADBN Morning Express show.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I've been speaking with Mr. Cornel Osigwe, who happens to be a public relations consultant and political analyst, giving us bit by bit on the development stride of Governor Charles Soludo of Anambra State. It's quite interesting, quite laudable that we are seeing the governor, or hearing from people who are there, that the governor is really doing some good job. And for them, it's another opportunity for him to return. But we'll wait till November 8th before that will be determined, after the election vote have been casted and INEC will announce the result. I want to appreciate every one of you staying tuned with ABN this morning, watching our Morning Express. Meanwhile, our sport crew will be coming up with the sport program any moment from now, as I sign out from this program today. And I've been standing for your regular host, Bito Brand and Chijoke Okafor. My name is Adefolarin Olamilekon. To come your way with another exciting Morning Express show, I sign out with this nugget. Be a good Nigerian citizen. And remember, every aspect of your life is very important at this point in time. God bless you. See you soon. Bye.